Look, Del Rio got a lot of confidence right now. He's got CM Punk right where he wants him right now.
He's got to get back on the attack.
He's wasting too much time here. Here he goes.
And CM Punk!
He's only got one arm.
I get one. Oh! Rodriguez! Del Rio's going to steal it! Del Rio's going to steal it! He got it! He got it! He got it! No! A 2.5! And now Punk kick to the side of the head! The cover! Del Rio! 2 count! Del Rio! Shoulder up!
Wait a minute!
Into the vice!
He's in that vice!
What a move by Punk! What a counter by Punk! Anaconda vice! Anaconda vice! Del Rio's in trouble! The champ's in trouble!
Hang on! Hang on!
Del Rio doing all he can!
You gotta be kidding me!
CM Punk
A great victory!
is WWE champion!
Wow!
What a count!
What a matchup! I mean, these two with fist on fire, toe-to-toe for about 30 minutes, and it was totally off the hook.
And new WWE champion, CM Punk! For the 16th time in the history of Madison Square Garden, the WWE Championship has changed hands. CM Punk, now a 2-time WWE champion and a 5-time world champ. What the Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, oh yeah!
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Ferran Derry.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
As you heard, we have a new WWE champion. Hello, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Ferran Derry here with you, coming off of an interesting Survivor Series with an electric crowd. There's just something about Madison Square Garden. That crowd was hot all night, and that just made the pay-per-view experience that much better. And, of course, CM Punk beating Alberto Del Rio to win the WWE Championship, and going on to talk a little bit more, kind of starting a feud with current interim Raw General Manager John Laurinaitis. Kind of like an Austin McMahon thing, only I like that there's an establishment of Laurinaitis' character. For those of you who missed it, CM Punk comparing Laurinaitis to Bill Lumbergh from Office Space, which I thought was a nice little comparison, and I'm kind of feeling that Lumbergh-ishness myself, as I got told from the full-time job that's got to pay the bills that, they're going to need me to come in on Saturday. But they were gracious enough to allow me to come in a little bit later so I could get this show out there for you today, and I greatly appreciate that. Want a special thanks to Dominic and George over at my job for allowing me to come on here. Even though Saturday isn't usually something that I do, I'm kind of getting Lumberghed a little bit later today, so I'll be doing that right at the conclusion of the show. But I kind of like where they're going with that, although that means we get to hear more of John Laurinaitis' scratchy voice, so I don't know necessarily how that goes. John Cena and The Rock, well, I kind of hoped they'd go a different direction with it, but it was pretty much all about the domination of The Rock, as you'd kind of expect. But I figured, well, maybe Awesome Truth would have, a little bit of an opportunity to shine, but they didn't really, and we kind of found out why a couple of days later. Some news for those of you who missed it. R-Truth, Ron Killings, WWE announced on Tuesday that he has been suspended for 30 days for violating WWE's wellness policy. Kind of convenient that the suspension came up right after the main event of the Survivor Series and the follow-up on Raw. I thought that was kind of interesting. And another note from the pay-per-view as far as somebody missing time for a little while. another setback for Sin Cara. That's right. During the Survivor Series elimination match, which was won by Team Barrett, Sin Cara tried to leap over the ring and onto Hunico on the outside on the floor and suffered a ruptured patellar tendon while doing so, and he's going to have surgery. The estimated recovery time, 6 to 9 months. So it's bad enough there was the wellness policy issue that had him out for a little while, and now 6 to 9 months. The recent acquisitions by WWE not exactly faring so well. It looks like we won't be seeing either major acquisition, either Sin Cara or, of course, Karma, until well into 2012. Karma, of course, still on maternity leave. Some interesting stuff there. Going back to the Survivor Series results, Team Barrett beating Team Orton. The only survivors in that traditional Survivor Series match, Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. I kind of like that, because we need to establish some more heels, at least I think so, and Cody Rhodes seems to be going into his own, and it seemed to be a bit of a bigger news story than it probably should have been, but Cody Rhodes finally wearing knee pads. I know I've mentioned it quite a few times here on the program over the course of the last 8 or 10 months, I'd say, and it's finally happened. He's gotten rid of the face mask. You're starting to see the development of Cody Rhodes more and more. Now if he can just get rid of that maniacal supervillain laugh, because it doesn't quite fit him as much of a comic book geek as he is, and I don't say that belittlingly, because I know I have my geek and nerd moments, to say the least. Looking at the rest of the Survivor Series lineup, the Big Show beat Mark Henry by disqualification in that World Heavyweight Championship match, so that feud's going to continue. Of course, Henry intentionally getting himself disqualified by kicking Big Show low, and I think that's still high for most people, but in this case, kicking Big Show low to cause the disqualification rather blatantly. Big Show getting the, last laugh at the end as he Pillmanized Mark Henry, of course, taking Henry's leg and ankle and bracing it up inside of a chair and kind of snapping the leg a little bit. At least making the presumption of snapping the leg. So Mark Henry at the moment not medically cleared to wrestle, but it looks like he'll be back in time for TLC coming up on December 18th. And looks like, based on everything that's going on, they'll more than likely face each other in a chairs match, but that, of course, hasn't been made official yet. No match is made official just yet for TLC coming up in a few weeks. Another interesting note, speaking of Mark Henry, of course, from last night on SmackDown. I know a lot of people might have been sleeping off the Black Friday holiday shopping, but Henry coming out with a medical boot as well as a crutch, wanted to fight, wasn't medically cleared. Big Show came out to the ring, and after a little bit of discussion, Show kind of hit the knockout punch on Mark Henry, and Daniel Bryan came out to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, but actually he did. He did cash it in and pinned Mark Henry, but then Teddy Long came out and said that because Henry was not medically cleared to wrestle, there was no official match. Henry's still your champion, and Bryan, he gets his Money in the Bank briefcase, but it looks like it's going a long way towards setting Daniel Bryan up as a contender, leading perhaps into WrestleMania, the ultimate David and Goliath story, or we might see it a little bit sooner, as also made last night on SmackDown, that fatal four-way main event, the winner getting a title shot for SmackDown this coming week, which is going to be a live SmackDown on Tuesday on Sci-Fi. Of course, Daniel Bryan against Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, and Randy Orton in that fatal four-way, and Daniel Bryan, he won that fatal four-way match and is now the number one contender and will face Mark Henry this Tuesday. So will it be a WrestleMania preview? We'll have to tune in this Tuesday to find out. Some other bits and notes and various things here. Of course, the couple of videos that showed up on Raw this past Monday. One of which it looks like the return of Kane coming sooner rather than later. Of course, WWE teasing that return by showing a vignette with what appeared to be Kane lighting a match, punching some glass, and dropping the matchstick onto his old red mask, which then caught fire. So when will Kane return? I guess we'll have to tune in to find out that. And now it begins. That's been the big thing, and I'm sure we'll be getting speculation over the course of the next few weeks. Perhaps it is the speculation, as it is already spreading with what is referenced in that 42-second video that aired on Raw. over 5 weeks we have to try to figure it out, as somebody will be making their return on January 2nd, 2012. The question is who? Is it the push to The Undertaker going 20-0 at WrestleMania? Is it the return of Chris Jericho? Heck, is it a clean and sober Scott Hall? Okay, maybe I wouldn't bet on that one. That's probably the long shot. Is it Sting? Are we going to get that rumors going, or those rumors going again? No, not really. He's still under contract with TNA, so that's not likely. But the front runners as far as the likely it beginning for January 2nd, either The Undertaker or Chris Jericho, and I don't know. Who would you rather see return? The Undertaker. I mean, obviously, as we get closer to WrestleMania, the build-up for The Undertaker, the streak, that's all going to be going on. Do you want to see The Undertaker return in January, maybe have him take a little bit more time off? Do you want to see Chris Jericho back? Let me know. 215-949-3232 or toll-free at 888-922-2149. Let's go ahead and get to the phones. Been patiently waiting. Let's start off with the look at the local scene, courtesy of Ed from the Northeast. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. We have Indie Summit next weekend with CCW Cage of Death.
CCW Cage of Death. I'm already chilled at that. What the? I've already got a little bit of the chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, 13 years.
What about? Go ahead.
That's a Toys for Tots event.
Can't go wrong with those Toys for Tots event. We're definitely getting around that time of the holidays here.
The 19th is another Toys for Tots with Chiquara with a 7 p.m. time.
Definitely should be some good stuff there. Thanks so much, Ed, for the call. Always appreciate that.
CCW is coming at the end of the month.
At the end of this month? We're closing in on the end of this month. Or you mean the end of December? Okay. That's good.
I should have more information next week.
Alrighty, and we'll definitely look forward to it. Thank you so much, Ed, for the call. Always appreciate the look at the local scene. I know I don't always get the chance to look into everything else that's local. I know there's Ring of Honor, there's Combat Zone Wrestling, there's Chikara, there's Dragon Gate, which actually there's a story regarding those latter two, which I'll get into a little bit later in news and notes. Yeah, definitely get into that a little bit later. A lot of different bits of news and notes. Some of it good, but not a whole lot of it. All definitely some interesting stuff, and we can talk about that over the course of the hour. That's for sure. Taking a quick look at the Facebook fan page. Definitely gotten quite a few comments. Dan, of course, from Chicago chiming in. Undertaker, Sting, wait, no. What's going on for January 2nd? Here we go again, he says, referring to the It video. If some people know who it is, don't say, let's just have fun with it. I'll be honest, I don't know, and frankly, I don't want to know. Also, we got some reactions on there to the R-Truth suspension. William chiming in. That explains the ending on the Raw Super Show. Chris from across the river. I'm sure some little Jimmy ratted him out. That's definitely some fun stuff. Evan, a longtime caller, says R-Truth is a semi-main eventer. It's nice to see guys other than mid-carders getting suspended. Not knowing at the end of Raw would lead to R-Truth suspension. He thought it would lead to a Miz face turn. I don't know. Do you want to see Miz as a face? I mean, he's been so good as a heel, and really you haven't seen him as a face since he was doing the whole host of SmackDown thing. It's hard to say, really. Yeah. Who would you rather see as a face as the breakup of Awesome Truth seems to be happening? Do you want to see R-Truth come back as a face and have all his fans be little Jimmies? Or, I don't know. Well, we'll throw that out there and certainly get your thoughts on that. Anyway, we'll take care of a little bit of business, come back. We've got Ron on the other side, and then we've got room for you as well, 215-949-3232, or toll-free at 888-922-2149. Those are the ways to get a hold of us. You can also check us out on Facebook. Just look for WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly, and I've now got archives of the show up. The last 5 weeks have been up online. You can go to YouTube and just type in WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly. You can listen to the show. I usually have it up Within 18 hours of the show being off the air. Since I'm not going to be on in the overnight this weekend, it may take a little bit longer, but I'm certainly do what I can to get that up as soon as possible. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.